Hello and welcome everyone to this new final for the eSailing World Championship 2024. This is the Allianz Regatta final. The top 40 players of the qualifier series are now in the gold fleet, so we're just waiting for them to join the arenas, and we'll start the race in a bit. We've had some tight racing in the first qualifier series. I'll show you the scoreboard afterwards. Looks like Nozet, however, is the one leading the current fleet with 10 points in total, arriving third, fourth, first, and first. So a very strong performance from this player. Currently waiting for all the players to join the arena, so we'll start in any second now. First warning signal is set to go off at 50, so in 2 minutes. First race is going to be in Nacra on the match race long course without the boundaries. So this is the race course that you usually see with the Flying 75 on Virtual Regatta Inshore, and you usually have the boundaries with them. This time we're going with the Nacra, 39 players in total in the fleet, so it's going to be a big fleet, but they have space to sail since we removed the boundaries. If you're in the chat, do shout out the person that you're supporting. I see Miracle Sailing supporting Von Pigeon and Ramon. That's nice to see. Ramon is currently 8th with 41 points, and Von Pigeon is 20th with 53 points. So we still have 4 races to go in the Gold Series, and then we'll be doing the medal race if we have time. Which will be counting double, so the ranking is likely gonna shift a bit still. Okay, so it's in 1 minute we're supposed to start. They have to join now or tell us if they're having issues. The time has already been extended, so at 50 the race will start. In the first race of the Gold Series in the Allianz Regatta final. So I see RG Tyler supporting Wary, Rick, Tim Janik, and Josuts. That's a lot of people you're supporting, and that's good to see. Okay, currently 50, so the race is starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. And Nozet, haha. Well, Nozet is going to have is having a great regatta so far. Let's have a look at the scoreboard since it has been updated. So as you can see, Nozet is currently first with 10 points, followed by Charizard with 25 points. Kuich, the Japanese player, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, 26 points. Rary in 4th with 28 points, so you're right, Pitwater to support him. Shidlo Finn in 5th with 33 points, and Josuts 37 points, closely behind in 6th. As a reminder, it's going to be the top 12 who qualify for the semi-final at the end of the year. The rest of the players still have 2 more challenges after that to qualify in the remaining challenges in the eSailing World Championship. In terms of races, well, we're going to have the first race in Nacra 17, the one that we're currently watching, in the match race long course without the boundaries, but with the penalty start detection on. So if they try to do a penalty start, they will be penalized an extra 10 seconds after the initial penalty has concluded. And after that, we're going to be going into the Ilka for race 2. Ilka in the upwind medium course. So the pretty standard course that you are used to, just a bit longer to facilitate the 40 players and give them space to to sail the way they want. Race number 3 is going to be in 49er in the same course as the Nacra. Over here we see a penalty here given to Velista 71 by Dai-chan, the Japanese player. As the rest of the fleet looks concentrated on the top of the screen over here. So yeah, I was saying race 3 and 49 are in the same match race long course without the boundaries, so the same one that we're currently sailing in. Race 4 is going to be in the Far East 28R, a boat that we've been using several times in different finals, whether it's the eSailing World Championship or the One Provence challenges that is happening on Regatta Inshore. And finally, the medal race, if we have time to do it. So far in every final, we did not have time to sail that medal race, is going to be in J70. And the interesting part about the medal race, it's the points that are being doubled, and it's only for the top 20. So the medal race can really shift who in the top 12 are going to qualify for the semi-final. So yeah, give me a second while I update the ranking on the right over here, so we can have an accurate ranking on the right. So we are on Ramon Parejo right now, 8th, tied with Kolikoi with 41 points, 1 point difference by 7 plate with Luka Pavlovic, and 1 point different with SV Gaia, and just SV Gaia in 10th position for 2 points. Okay, there we have it. So, Barracuda looks like he's going to be the first one rounding the mark with Noze, Dudang, sorry, completely shifting. Ramon, let's focus. Ramon Parejo is leading the first downwind over here, closely followed by Barracuda, Fun Pigeon, and Fun Yuko. So, Miracle Sailing, you can support Fun Pigeon. Currently third, that's gonna put him in a very comfortable position for the remaining of the regatta. A lot of new names that we're seeing actually today. So, well, new names that we've already seen, but not that often. So we do, for example, have a new player with Speedy Salamander, the American player that I personally haven't seen in any finals so far. So good for him. Good to see him in the final, and hopefully he can make it in the top 12 as well. Charizard is one of the regulars in the eSailing World Championship finals. He had qualified for the first final, I believe the second final as well. So he is a regular in these finals, and hopefully this is the last one he needs to play, because he will be going into the semi-final, though currently Charizard is... I lost him in the ranking. He is second. That's why I wasn't looking at the top. Second with 25 points right after Nozet. So he's in a really comfortable position, and if he can maintain his 8th position, 9th position in the race, he will be into the top 12. Another player we can mention is Shidlo Finn, the Polish player that we regularly see, whether it's the Nations Cup or other finals in Regatta Inshore. He is a very strong player, very fast player. So there's no surprises really to see him in the top 3 leading the Nakra fleet. And we expect big things from him. Shidlo Finn is currently in the overall ranking. 5th with 33 points. So a 23 point difference with Nausea leading the current fleet. Let's focus maybe on some of our Japanese player. We currently see that there's 5 of them in total, I believe, in this final. 6. With currently the leading one is Kuich 31471. I really don't know how to pronounce the name, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. With 26 points, 3rd position overall. But names that we shouldn't forget is Yuko. Fune Yuko, who has an excellent track record in eSailing. Whether it be with the Olympic Esports Series, whether it's with the eSailing World Championship, the One Provence Challenges, the eSail GP finals that we've seen in the past. Very consistent, very strong player that will usually make it to the end point. So yeah, definitely a player to watch out. Obviously, another one of the Japanese is going to be Ozul. So very strong player this way. Well, I'm gonna say it's a strong player for every player because all of them are strong, and well, it's normal because they were in the top of the challenges for the Allianz Regatta. Chris 1707D, I lost connection. That's unfortunate, man. But it's not over. It's not over, so you still have 4 more races after this one to compete. One of the newer faces in the eSailing World Championship is going to be Barracuda. We don't see him that often in the finals, but we do see him from time to time. Who's been slowly rising in the rankings and managed to qualify for this final, and currently in a comfortable 6th position in this last downwind leg for the first race. So yeah, actually, Knockout 17 didn't really talk about this boat. This is one of the Olympic classes in the game, which can foil. So catamaran, I believe you say in English. So 2 holes. Enfo is a very fast boat, a very nervous boat, not the easiest to steer, and can go very fast since it has foils. And I'll talk about each of the classes as the race continues. Well, first race is about to end. Ramon currently still in the lead with a 70-meter lead on the Japanese player Koichi, and 150 lead on the Fun Yuko. Fun Pigeon in 4th position. Sorry. Nice to see him there wearing the One Provence colors. Same as Fun Yuko. So both of them were in the One Provence final. In one of the One Provence final. The next final is actually happening on 30th of May. That's Thursday at 8 p.m. UTC, 10 p.m. CET. So yeah, Ramon first to cross, and then it's going to be tight between Kyush and Yuko, with Fun Pigeon closely behind. As the rest of the fleet is slowly approaching. Charizard passed by Ozul over here. Speedy, Daichan, Vegas, Nozet, Pablo, Velista. As yeah, the back of the fleet is, so a bunch of them actually kind of tight at the end of the fleet, and Haman Pajo with the top 3 really had the lead on the rest of the fleet. So there we have it. This was race 1 in the Knockout 17, so the first race in the Gold Series. So these were the top 39 players from the Qualifier Series continuing right now. And we'll head over to race 2 in a second in the Ilka. Slow boats has a good wind shadow, Usually your strategy would be to slow down your opponents using the wind shadow at the end. Well, the wind shadow on the downwind, sorry, I don't know what I said at the end. But yeah, very slow boat on the upwind, fairly fast on the downwind. It's a boat that we regularly see, fairly easy to maneuver as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting course with these players, these very strong players. It's going to be a tight competition between them. So 1 minute before the start. And it's currently 13:08, so the race is starting now. So yeah, upwind medium course. Well, this is the course that you are used to in the game. It's going to be one upwind followed by one downwind, and repeat that. So for 4 legs in total, you do have an offset mark at the upwind, which could be considered another leg, so 6 if you consider this one. I'm going to talk about a bit about what you see on the screen and what it means. So you see on the top left-hand side of the game, you'll see the mini-map with windsocks and different colors of blue on the water. So the darker the water, that means the more pressure there is, and usually that means that you would prefer these areas because more pressure means more wind and you can go faster. 15 seconds until the start as the boats are approaching. I'll continue that a bit later on. So yeah, as a reminder, Nozet is still first with 16 points, Kuich is still second with 28 points, and Charizard is still third with 35 points. And it's a go. Very tight fleet. All choosing to leave the win on the starboard over here. Just a couple of few who decided to start on port. So yeah, darker zones means more wind pressure. Usually that means that you're going faster, and the Ilka, that's not necessarily the case in upwind. Having a lot of wind on the upwind isn't necessarily the best thing to have. You might prefer some lighter winds for the upwind in the Ilka. These white lines that you see on the right hand side of the screen over there, these are called the ley lines, and these are imaginary lines that give you the most direct path to the mark using the wind at the mark. So usually to have an effective course, you would stay between these two ley lines and not overshoot them to make sure that you don't sail too far. Another thing that we see is these little white colors that you see behind the boats. These are what we call the wind shadows, and the wind shadow is basically the wind blocked by the sails that you use to slow down your opponents if you manage to trap them in that area of your boat. And that's usually how the players manage to catch up on the downwind with the Ilka. You're going to see a lot of battles and a lot of dancing between these boats. Or they might want to stay clear, meaning stay away as much as they can from the other boats. And avoid battling too much, because with almost 40 players, arriving last is costly. So yeah, boats are slowly approaching the first mark. It's going to be a lot faster on the downwind with the Ilka. Izan Polo is the one currently leading according to the ranking, and he's in the middle over here. Again, one of the newer names that we started seeing this year only. Well, I started seeing this year only. and has been pretty consistent in the last final. So he didn't manage to qualify in the previous finals, but he did manage. Well, didn't manage to qualify from the previous finals, but he did manage to qualify in these finals. And we'll see how it goes for him today. Currently in a not so comfortable position at 28th with 86 points. It's going to be hard for him to stay in the top 20 and then in the top 12. But we hope the best for him. So yeah, Ozil, we've met this player before. Charizard, same. Velista, same. Foiled one I just saw, who took a penalty from, I believe it was Izan. A Swedish boat. That I personally haven't seen often as well, so one of the newer names. But who did manage to qualify in several finals as well, so strong player. Hopefully he can get his level up and compete at the highest level. Currently he is 35th with 100 points, so more at the back of the fleet, and it's going to be hard for him to get in the top 20, but not impossible, I believe. Ozil, yes, clean sailor, we would say, and a strong sailor. So if he does manage to get in the top 12, he would have deserved it. Currently 8th in total. Yep, currently 8th in total, with 53 points. And it's going to be tight between these three over here: Charizard, Velista, and Ozil. Ozil currently not being slowed down by any wind shadows behind him, going at 9.2 knots. Although Charizard is coming behind him. And they both decide to go on different tacks, so as Ozil tacks away right now. So the second upwind, and then it's going to be the offset mark again, and the last downwind until the finish line, or race 2. Of this final. So yeah, the Allianz Regatta, actually, the real one wasn't sailed in real life, unfortunately, but we're still having the virtual event that was supposed to be in relation to the real event, the Allianz Regatta. And the next event in the eSailing World Championship is going to be a bit further away, next month in June, and I'll tell you these dates in a second. But it's going to be likely the same principle: 6-day regatta with 3 boats shifting every 48 hours, likely the Olympic classes again. We'll see how the sailing instructions go, with the top 80 of that challenge qualifying for the final, and the top 12 of that final going into the semi-final directly. And it's going to be the before last challenge in the eSailing World Championship 2024 season. And yeah, the next one I believe is actually linked to the Youth Sailing World Championship, if I'm not mistaken. So Velista, Ozil, Charizard still in the lead, so well deserved for Ozil, as RG Taylor was saying, and go Italy, as Lorenzo was saying. 2 Italians in the first 3 position right now. Let's not jinx it for them. And it looks like Velista is going to be in a comfortable position to round this mark. though Ozil will likely be able to catch him in his wind shadow on the downwind. And Charizard is going to have to defend his position, considering Izan and Ramon are very close behind, though these are going to be slowed down by Fold 1 and the players behind them. We see Velisa 71 over there racing to the finish line. Is he in Ozil's wind shadow? Looks like he might be a tiny bit. Ozil going slightly faster than Velisa 71. Though it looks like he did manage to get clear maybe of that wind shadow. He's still slightly affected now. He's clear. 12.1 knots for Velisa 71, 12.2 knots now. And the same for Ozil, sorry. So it looks like Velisa 71 is going to be our winner for this second race in the Gold Series. Knowing that he was 10th with 57 points, tied with Fun Pigeon and SV Gaia. And Ozil was 8th, so I think Ozil should still stay in front of Velisa 71 at the end of this race. But they're likely gonna shift a bit towards the top and confirm their position in the top 12 position. And the rest over there, I think that's for Monsky. Charizard, Fold 1. They're not for Monsky. Izan and Ramon. And did Yuko manage to steal a place from Ordinapoli? We'll have to see that with the ranking. It was very tight over here, closer to us watching it. Vegas over here. We haven't talked about Vegas. He was he was the captain for the Japanese team in the eSailing World Championship, I believe, with Fun KGR. Very strong player, very fair player as well. And Tim Janik did the weird thing at the end over here, not crossing the start line directly. So yeah, we'll tally up the scores, enter them in the ranking, and we'll start straight race 3 in the 49er. So yeah, we're gonna update the scores. Give us 1 second, and we'll be right back. "30 seconds to start 49er, that's another Olympic class, another boat that goes very fast, single hull boat with its transparent sails. And most of the battle with the 49er is actually going to be in upwind compared to the Ilka, which was in downwind. And yeah, it's a boat that likes its wind, so players would usually try to just keep clear, get some good wind pressure. and that should put them in a good position. Looks like a false start from Izan and Von Pigeon. That's unfortunate. And we can have a look at the scoreboard. And looks like we have one drop off. Chris Hawkeye has decided that his connection does not allow him to continue, and he has dropped out. Unfortunate for him. We salute him. Good effort from him, and hopefully we'll see him in the next ones. We've actually had a bit of a shift in the ranking, not that much, but our leader is no longer Nozets. But the Japanese player Koichi 31471 with 38 points, tied with Charizard at 38 points also. And Nozets has had a rough time in the Ilka, arriving 29th, so currently at 45 points, so 7 points behind first and second. He's still in the top 12, if he continues like that, he'll still make it to the semi-final. As they continue their way to the upwind, we have an interesting pattern in the wind over here. So we have this this empty air tunnel, slightly on the left of the course, with more wind completely on the left or on the whole right half of the course, which is where players are trying to stay in, notably with Cash over here, the American sailor, currently leading the fleet. So yep, this is the third race in the 4 races of the Go fleet. So after this one, it's going to be the Far East 28R, and after the Far East, it's going to be the medal race with the top 20 only. So this is one of the few chances left for them to reach the top 20. Cash, the player that we're currently spectating, is 37th with 132 points, so it's going to be hard for him to get in the top 20. But is it possible or not? It's Vegas is currently 20th with 95 points, so almost a 40-point difference. So it's going to be hard for Cash to make it in the top 12, but we hope he can manage. Mauro Di Napoli currently first one to reach the mark. My bad, it's going to be SV Gaia. What flag is that actually? The Cuban flag. In the green boat, and Mauro Di Napoli, the Italian player. If we look at where these two players are in the ranking, SV Gaia is in the top 12 with at 11th position with 75 points. Mauro Di Napoli is just short of the top 12. He is 13th with 78 points, so arriving second or first in this race is going to be a huge bonus for him. How the scoring works in sailing and in eSailing is your position is basically the number of points you get. So if you arrive first, you get 1 point. If you arrive second, 2 points, and the aim is to have the less points as possible. And your overall score is just the addition of all the points during all of your races. So arriving first or second in a 40 fleet is almost like a free race. It only gives you 1 or 2 points. So it is a huge advantage to arrive first in these large fleets. Usually in sailing you would try to be consistent in throughout your regatta, so just not necessarily arriving first every time, but arriving in a good position every time. Though obviously with these large fleets, managing to score first is extremely helpful, and it's going to put you in a great position, because again, it's like almost a free race, whereas arriving last is going to give you up to, well, almost 40 points, and that's going to be very penalizing. And yeah, very cool to see SV Gaia up there, and he just needs to maintain this position, though these two players are almost 70 meters in front of third and fourth, who are Ramon Parejo and ESG 777, the Spanish and German player respectively. So unless something bad happens to them, they should have this race in the pocket with 1 and 2. Yep, sorry. So we're currently almost halfway through the last upwind, and then it's going to be the gates and the last downwind in this course. The same course as the Knockout 777. Sorry, the Knockout 17. No, I was just reading the name ESG 777. And the rest of the fleet, how does it look like? Ozil is in 5th, Luka Kozlovic is in the 6th. Overall, Luka Kozlovic is the 12th with 76 points. So he scored 40 points in the qualifier series and is now 23 plus 13 points in race 1 and 2 of the Gold Series. So he needs to stay in the top 12 each race if he wants to stay in the top 12 at the end. So yeah, SV Gaia first to reach one of the marks in the gate. Moro di Napoli is going to be second, and Rowan Porter is going to have to tack again. But can still stay in front of ESG 777. So I think this is going to be a wrap for Gaia and Moro di Napoli. Gaia is likely going to finish first, and Moro di Napoli close behind in second. Let's see what's happening behind. So Ozil 5th, 5th in this race and 5th in the overall ranking with 55 points. Being chased by Luka Kozlovic. And we see over there a couple of the boats who decided to go on the other side of the gate, with Krug, the one leading them, the Portuguese boat. And Krug is currently 29th with 111 points. And at the back, let's maybe focus on one player. Julie Fra, for example, one of the French players that is also regularly in these finals. Hoping to qualify again over here. Julie Fra is overall 22nd. Tied with Nano Pardo, the Spanish player, with 99 points. They've had the same score in the qualifier series with 67 points each. And they're again tied in points during the Gold Series. So apparently a very even matchup between these two players. As Formansky gets in the mix over here, try to slow down Nozet with the wind shadow, maybe forcing him to do an error, and hopefully gaining one spot. Formansky, the Polish player, currently is 31st with 114 points, whereas Nozet is still third with 45 points. Though arriving 17 is going to hurt him a bit, but it is better than the 29 points that he got during race 2. So Gaia, first one to cross, followed by Moro Di Napoli, Ramon Ferrejo, Krug, no, ESG 777, Krug, Ozil Luca arriving during the same second. Kuch closely behind. Noze looks like he is going to be 16th. Julie Fra, Knut Daichan is going to be very tight at the end over here. We'll see what the ranking says. And there we have it. So quick peek at the ranking for this race. We're going to enter the scores and we're going to start race 4 in the Far East 28R. Which is going to be the last race in the qualifier series, in the Gold Series, sorry, before the medal race. Medal race being only with the top 20. And looks like Baban has dropped out as well, judging that he will not make it in the top 20 or top 12. So the Far East is a J70-like kind of boat. It is fairly slow on the upwind, doesn't have that much of a nasty wind shadow, but has different kind of angles, or what we call polars, compared to the J70. But all in all, somewhat similar to the J70 with you know, with its small differences here and there. So 20 seconds to start as the boats are approaching the start line. Once they have crossed the start line, I will show you the ranking after race 3. We've had some changes in the top 12 compared to the previous one. And it's a go. I believe there was maybe a false start from Charizard over here. You see that there's a lot of pressure over here in the middle of the course where all of these boats are bunched up together. Though it is going to be more interesting on the left later on. As you see some of the boats tacking away. So, the scoreboard, sorry. There we have it. Kuch still first, 46 points. Strong performance from this player. Charizard close in second with 49 points. Ramon Parejo 50 points in third. Noze 61 points in fourth. Ozul maintaining his fifth position with 62 points. Velista 71 sixth with 71 points. Hopefully he can make it in the top 12. This is not his first eSailing World Championship final this year. SV Gaia, nice to see him up there, 7th with 76 points. Shidlo Finn, the Polish, with 8th position with 78 points. Mauro Di Napoli 9th with 80 points. Luka Kozlovic, the two Italians, with 82 points and 9th as well. 10th, sorry. Fun Yuko, the Japanese player, 84 points, and Dai-chan, that we don't see that often, currently has the 12th position with 91 points. Though Very and Von Pigeon are close behind with 92 and 97 respectively. So nothing is decided yet. Dai-chan will have to have a good race if he wants to stay in the 12, and Very and Von Pigeon will have to have an extremely nice race to stay in the top 12 over here. If we look at the race where they are in the current game ranking, we can see that Wary is, I lost him, currently 10th. With Von Pigeon 27th, and Dai-chan is somewhere, but I can't find him. 26th. As looks like Tommy Tamo is going to have to let Fun Yuko pass in front of him, and Yuko is the first one to round the mark. So this is the offset mark, then it's going to be a downwind again, another upwind, then a downwind to conclude this gold series. And at the end of this race, it's going to be the medal race, so counting double. So if you arrive first, you don't get 1 point, but you get 2 points, and second you get 4 points, and so on. So the points are going to rack up pretty quickly, and it's only for the top 20 players. So the 20th currently is Julie Fra with 116 points, tied with Krug on 19th. But Peter G-Man, or ESG777, is close behind with 117 points, so just 1 point difference. And with the scores being doubled, that means that anything can change in the last race. If Kuch, the current leader, the Japanese player, finishes, for example, 20th, well, that's another 40 points added to their score, meaning that they will. Well, if we add 40 points to their score right now, they are currently 11th, so still in the top 12. So it looks like Kuch is qualified already for the semi-final, depending on his score in this race. So let's not jinx him. And I'm seeing something I don't like to see in the chat. Wait, this is not the place to have your personal stuff happening. So yeah, sorry, let's focus on the race again. Fun Yuko currently the one leading the fleets, approaching the upwind mark over here before, well, he looks like he's going to have a comfortable lead. Going downwind, Yuko is 11th with 84 points, so he's just confirming his spot in the top 12. So last downwind looks like Yuko is confirming his place. ESG 777 close behind Tim Janek, name that we haven't really mentioned today. Tim Janek, a very strong Polish player as well. Though struggling this final, currently 37th with 168 points. But it's nice to see that he found something to be back into the top 3. Hopefully he can maintain it. Tommy Tamble, the Italian player, close behind 4th. Krug 5th. And that is likely going to shift quite a lot of things, because apart from Yuko, I don't see any of the top 5 being in the top 12 currently. As the rest of the fleet is crossing the finish line. Julie Fra 14th, I believe it is. Jozuk is going to be tight between these last players as FedEx is currently being penalized. Thank you, Pitwater, for the follow. Nice to see you there. And a very tight finish between all of these boats. Well, Ozul has decided to go alone on the committee boats, and this is going to hurt his overall score. So this is the end of the Gold Series. We'll compile the results, and the top 20 are going to go into the medal race counting double. And we are go for race, the medal race in J7C. 80 seconds till start. And 12th currently is still Dai-chan with 108 points. Mardinapoli is 13th with 2 points behind. Peter Jimin, Wary are tied at 119 points, so there is a bit of a gap between 13th and 14th. But with the medal race counting double, it can really change everything. 35 seconds now till the start. Looks like the boats are preferring to stay near the committee boat on a starboard tack for the start. Starboard meaning that the wind is coming from your right hand side when you're looking in the direction where the boat is going. So all the boats are looking to likely join this this pressure that we see on the right hand side of the course. You see a very even line between all these players. And if we look at Julie Fra, who is fighting for first place here with the others, he is currently 19th with 130 points, so he has quite a lot to catch up. But he'll do his best to qualify. And Ozil is going to have to defend his position, currently 9th with 96 points. He definitely needs to stay at the top of the fleet if he wants to make it. Only 8 players out of this fleet won't make it to the semi-final, because 12 of them are going to get qualified, so 8 are missing out. Which doesn't mean that it's over for them, because we do have other challenges coming up in the eSailing World Championship in June and in July. Each of them having, or should be having, the same format as those that we've seen so far. With the semi-final being spread out on 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, with 80 players in total, so it's going to be 12 from each challenge final, leaving us 8 spots from 8 spots to fill in with either wildcards or other events in game that can make you earn a place in the semi-final. And this course is smaller than the other course, so we're actually using the upwind medium in the Far East, which is the normal course that we use in this boat in the game. Previous courses we were using the long version of these courses just to accommodate the bigger fleet. We're on a more normal size fleet, or what we're used to anyway on the game, with 20-ish boats. As Krug is likely going to be the one who reaches the mark first, or maybe Velisa is going to be tied between the two. One of them is going to have to let the other pass inside, but I think it's going to be Krug who has the priority, and we'll see between Yuko, who managed to squeeze in between Krug and Velisa 71. Yuko currently 6th with 85 points, tied with SV Gaia. That race from SV Gaia arriving 1st and 9th really helped him out get into the top 12. And Krug is the one leading with 121 points. He had a good series at the end, arriving both races 5th. And had some hard times at the beginning, arriving 35th and 27. With a decent qualifying score with 49 points in total in 5 races. So hopefully he can stay in this position and keep his score close to 120-ish points. That'll make it easier for him to reach the top 12. Ramon Parejo has 56 points in total right now, so assuming he's arriving last, so he gets 40 points, that'll put him to 96 points, which means that he is automatic. He's already in. Anyone who basically scores 110, more than 110 with the medal race, is keeping their position in. So that's the same for Quich, the Japanese player with 62 points. These 2 players are pretty much guaranteed to have a spot in the semi-final. And between the rest, it's gonna have to, well, this race is gonna decide it all. And we'll just talking about all the players that the chat has been supported, with Merkel, eSailing saying fly, Fun Pigeon, fly. Currently Fun Pigeon is 11th with 107 points, so he needs to stay in the top of the fleet if he wants to stay in the top 12. Currently 13th. Not too bad, but he will need to move up a bit in the ranking. Ramon, as we said, is pretty much confirmed in the 12 players qualifying. Where he still has to fight, he has 119 points, currently 15. Just as a reminder, the 12th position has 108 points. Actually, don't know if I showed you the score already. So let's show you the score again, so you can do the math with me. Tim Janik is 32nd with 171 points, so it's going to be very hard for him to get there. And Josuts is 16th, 120 points. More achievable for him, but not easy either. And Nikosh, who's saying hi. Hi Nikosh, how are you doing? So Krug is soon going to finish the last upwind of the course, and it's going to be a reaching to the offset mark and the last downwind to conclude the race. And to conclude this final, confirming his place in the, well, hopefully confirming his place in the top 12, qualifying for the semi-final later in the year. Let's switch back to the race. And hello to Jer7 as well. Thanks for streaming. It's a pleasure to stream these events. The competition is on the highest level in these type of events, so it is very interesting sailing that we can witness. And definitely worth sharing with everyone. How many player at qualifier today? So initially for each final we take the top 80 from the challenge to qualify. We had less than that of this challenge for this final. So we were at 39 players in total for the qualifier series, and we were more than that for the Sorry, 39 players for the Gold Series, but we were more than that for the Qualifier Series. And only 12 of the 20 players that you see here will qualify to the semi-final. Let's get closer to the finish line over there, because it's going to be close. Between Krug, who oversold just a bit, and Yuko. The Krug should be able to reach the line first. So well done to these guys. Velista 71 in third, he's going to be confirming this place in the top 12. Scheidloff in fourth. Ramon Parejo, so we said that whatever happens in this race, he was actually already qualified, so congratulations to him arriving in fifth. It's going to be tight between Ozil and Moro Di Napoli. Between 6 and 7, looks like Ozil is the one crossing the finish line first. And Moro Di Napoli 7, ESG 7, 7 in 8th, and Kuich the Japanese in 9th. And then we all have the rest of the fleet bunched up together, so they've likely been wind shadowing themselves, creating this gap between the first and these players over here. It looks like Noze is going to be the one crossing the finish line first. Luka Kozlovic second. Julie Fra close behind with Von Pigeon and Josut. Tommy Tamble, SV, Gaia, and Daichan are the one concluding the march. This was the last race, so we'll be tallying up the scores and we'll be confirming the scores for the top 12 getting into the semi-final in a few seconds right here. And I'm interested to see who is qualified. Okay, so Ramon Parejo first with 66 points. Kuich 31471, 80 points. Second, third, Fun Yuko with 89 points. Fourth, Velista 71, 90 points. So that was our second ever world champion. Scheidlofen 97 points. Charizard 101 points. Nozakura 104 points in 7th. 8th is Ozil with 108. SV Gaia in 9th with 121. Congratulations to him. Krug managed to get into the top 12 thanks to this win. 123 points for him. 11th, Moro Di Napoli with 124 points, tied with Luka Kozlovic 124 points, and Von Pigeon just short of the 12th spot with 133 points. So well done to these 12 players. Some very nice races, some tight races, and well, the competition was fierce. Great to see. Thank you all for watching the stream, and we'll see you next time in the One Provence Challenge final, which is going to be happening on the 30th of May. That is Thursday evening CET or UTC. It's going to be at 8 p.m. UTC. Well done to Ramon and Kuich, who basically confirmed their place when whatever happened during the last race for the medal race. And thank you all for watching. This has been Oscar, your host, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.